Welcome to Shore Perspectives, a community feature of WESR Radio, highlighting the spirit of the shore from those who call it home.
My name is Tracy Giddens-Jarrett, and I grew up on the Eastern Shore of Virginia, and I went to Northampton County Public Schools. I was approximately 29 years of age. I had been living in Richmond, Virginia for some time, since graduating college. And I had found, I had gone to it's called like a fan-free clinic, because I didn't have insurance at that time. But there was a clinic that would do your annual exams and whatnot. And I had a nurse practitioner there who discovered that I had a lump in my breast. And she recommended me to a doctor in Richmond. And they tried to excise it and get fluid out of it, and they could not. I was given a detail that the doctor said, well, you could leave it in if you like. Usually there's no fluid, it's probably no big deal. I didn't leave it in. I called my mother, Jane Cabarrus. She got me set up with Dr. Stephen Boyer, a good friend of hers who worked at the hospital with her at that time. He was a surgeon. And he told her, bring her on home and we'll figure it out and we'll work it out from there. And back then, there was really no other type of insurance for people. You just go to the doctor or the hospital and you pay the bill when you could. So I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to put myself in debt. But my mother, being the person that she is, reached out to some of her friends. And at that time was Dr. Stephen Boyer. And he helped us out. That he set up entire surgery and that he would take care of it. So I came home. Everybody was waiting for me at the hospital. It was at NAM Hospital at the time, Northampton Accomack Memorial Hospital, Riverside Shore Memorial now, I guess you would say. And the hospital was in Nassau-Wattix. It's not there any longer. But they got me straight. They brought me over there. There was also a doctor, anesthesiologist, which is the only anesthesiologist we had on the shore at that time. He was helping Dr. Boyer to do the surgery, and Dr. Malaya. And so those two together took the lump out. You wouldn't even know it was ever a lump there or an incision there whatsoever. But it was very good back then because, you know, a lot of people didn't have a lot, and including myself. But, you know, you had a job, but you didn't have enough money to do insurance. Or I was working like 3 jobs at a time, part-time jobs. So if you were working part-time, you really did not get insurance. And when I got home, they were ready for me at the hospital. They were ready for surgical suite, the operating room. And it was a very short surgery, of course, but I was ecstatic and surprised that he didn't ask, nobody asked me for anything. It had cancers in it. So it was what they call carcinoma in situ. So it was encapsulated in the actual tumor, but it had not spread outside the lump itself. So it was, but it had not spread, which is something we caught very, very early on. And I was just really surprised. And Dr. Boyer at the time, he sent my samples to 4 different places just to make sure that initially, because it took a while before they came back, he sent it to UVA, University of Virginia Medical Center. He sent it to Johns Hopkins Medical Center. He sent it to VCU Medical Center, East Virginia. He sent my sample to, and it all came back cancerous. You know, you wouldn't even get your breast examined yearly unless you was, or getting mammograms, unless you was 40 or older back then. And now, of course, they brought it down a little bit younger than that. But I have no cancer, breast cancer in my family, so I wasn't thinking that I would have that. I was doing self-breast exams at home. And when sometimes you don't know what you're feeling, you know, when you're trying to do the self-breast exams. But I was just flabbergasted that I had a lump, first of all, and then I was already more flabbergasted that I had a lump that was cancerous. When I was given the option to leave it in, and had I done that, it could have spread, and I could be looking at a different course of life down the road. But Dr. Boyer said, and I said, thank the Lord that he made sure that it came out, and made sure that he sent it off so that we could know what it said. So if there was a history, we would know what that history would have led to down the road. He also wanted me to know that I'm going to refer you to the Bear Institute at VCU. So he did that. So for the next 2 years, every 3 months, I had my breast examined 4 times a year for the next 2 years, just to make sure that we didn't miss something or see something that we couldn't, that he may have missed before. 2 things I would suggest to people: if it feels like something, get it checked out. Just get someone to check out. If you have a history in your family, I will get it checked out then as well. I was at the luxury of having good people around me that gave me the knowledge and the insight in how to handle this moving forward. And to this day, just actually a couple weeks ago, I had my breast examined, and this is 28 years ago, as you wrote in. I'm 58 as of yesterday. So just last week, I had another breast self-exam, and I had another mammogram that I get every single year. And it came back, no need to be concerned, no need to be doing anything else. But it's just that if you feel something, and if you don't know what you're feeling, it is important to get it checked out. And with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we just need to be more cognizant of the fact that these things do happen, and they don't always go the correct path that people think they might be. But like I said, I didn't have any breast cancer in my family, and I just happened to feel what I thought was a lump, but the nurse practitioner confirmed it. I've learned that just because it doesn't look bad today, that means it won't be bad later on. And I say bad meaning, cancer it presents in a kind of sneaky kind of way all the time, and you never know. The encouragement I give people today is to make sure that you pay attention to your body. Make sure you're paying attention to your self awareness of the things that the body does and changes. Some women, me in particular, I was 29, I was young. I had not had any kids at that time. So you just never know how things would have played out. I encourage people to just pay attention to your body. And even though I didn't have insurance and I didn't have health care, I got the best care I could possibly ever gotten by having it removed and having good people in my life, good physicians, good care providers who said, okay, this is what we're going to do. And they walked me through it, because I probably wouldn't have known what to do at that time. At 29, and I do this quite frequently, even with my own child, you don't have any fear. And I have fear now, more so now than I did at 29, because I just felt like, it can't be cancer. It can't be. I'm 29 years of age. They didn't even tell me to examine my breasts at 29 years of age, or have a mammogram at 29 years of age. I have learned that cancer can rear its ugly head at any time in your life. And like I said, it may not go the course that is being predicted at 40 or 45. But I encourage people to just pay attention. And unfortunately, I paid attention. I still don't know that I would have done differently had I not had someone encouraging me and telling me, bring her on home. We're going to take a look at it and take it out, and we'll send it off, and those kind of things, even though no one could have anticipated that would have been cancer. You couldn't have anticipated that. While Breast Cancer Month is October of each year, self-exams should be taking place every month of the year. And if you can possibly give to the foundations to have research for breast cancer, this is how we have gotten as far as we are now. getting the research, getting information, getting different things out there to the public, to the community. I encourage anyone to do whatever you can to push along breast cancer for every month of the year, not just October.
For Shore Perspectives and WESR Radio, I'm Kelley Gaskell.